Hi, I'm Anne, Chair of the National Infrastructure Commission Young Professionals Panel. I'm here today to catch up with Julia Prescot, the Deputy Chair of the National Infrastructure Commission, to find out what's coming up in the forthcoming National Infrastructure Assessment and in particular the role that infrastructure will play in climate resilience. So, infrastructure faces massive challenges to resist the impacts of climate change. For example, the need for our electricity networks to withstand more frequent and more severe storms. But infrastructure also has the opportunity to help society to adapt to the impacts of climate change, for example, through flood defences. Which areas do you think the public will care most about in the next assessment?
I think we've got a number of areas that we're covering in the assessment and that will allow the public to really think about how climate change and infrastructure are interdependent. And I think we've got within those particular areas, perhaps I can pick on one, and that one is surface water flooding. This is going to impact a wide proportion of society in that it's got 3 million homes potentially at risk, and indeed there are 325,000 homes that are at very high risk in relation to the effects of surface water flooding. Now, the assessment will incorporate work that's already been done by the Commission on this particular area, but it will also bring together a holistic view towards the impacts of climate change on infrastructure.
We've heard a lot about underinvestment in the water sector recently. Will the assessment be saying anything about that?
The assessment is looking over the long term, so that's over the next 20 to 30 years. And an important part of that is looking at what we need to make sure that we have robust maintenance of our water supply network and our water supply infrastructure. We also need to think about new assets as well. For example, we haven't built a reservoir in this country for nearly 30 years, and that means that we really need to move forward and make sure that this is part of our whole management system for water. And then finally, we need to think about supply and demand as well. There's the new infrastructure I've been talking about that's going to help us with the supply side, but there's also the demand issues, and we're looking to see to what extent we can actually work on reducing that demand for water over time. And with these elements, I think we're going to be in a much better position.
Climate change will also impact other infrastructure services like transport?
Indeed, and we can see the impacts of much hotter temperatures on train tracks, for example. We've seen examples of those buckling and actually meaning that our train networks are being adversely impacted by this. It's something that we need to think about as individuals and think about as society, which is how much are we going to contribute to that resilience that we need to put into our infrastructure for elements that are going to be affected by climate change. It's a debate, and we need to have that debate. And in the assessment, what we believe we're doing is laying the grounds for the elements of that debate going forwards and making sure that we can then really bring the arguments as to what needs to be done, how it needs to be done, and what the potential costs of that. Unless we do that, we're really just going to be stuck in the same position, and climate change is going to be affecting us more and more. The assessment will be coming out on the 18th of October. We very much urge everybody to have a look and to take account of that, and we hope as a result of that public debate I've been talking about that's so important for all of us will be very much strengthened.